Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in this video we will discuss about concept of virtualization, hypervisor and why we are moving towards containerizing our applications. The first topic, virtualization. Virtualization is a process that allows for more efficient utilization of a physical computer hardware and is the foundation of cloud computing. What does it mean? Earlier we had a physical data centers, and we had a very big servers in a room, and we have to maintain a room temperature for that, and a lot of manpower is involved, and this everything adds to the upfronts and maintenance cost, etc. But the same physical server can be used in creating a multiple virtual machines. Earlier that physical server was only for one applications, uh, having those big setups and all, but now the same hardware can be used for creating thousands of virtual machines with the same hardware piece. So that process is called virtualizations. And for converting this hardware and to create these virtual machines, there should be a process or technique called hypervisor. So hypervisor, as definition goes, is also known as virtual machine monitor, is a process that creates and run virtual machines. A hypervisor allows one host computer to support multiple guest virtual machines by virtually sharing its resources. What are resources? Like memory and processing. In hypervisor, there are two types of hypervisor: type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor. Type 1 hypervisor, the hypervisor is directly installed on the bare metal, whereas in type 2 hypervisor, the hypervisor is installed on the host operating system. The type 2 hypervisor, the good example is our laptop might be running with some of the OS like Windows 10 and all. On top of that, we will install our hypervisor is installed, and it is like we can run some of the applications. So that is a good example for type 2 hypervisor. Type 1 hypervisor, this is something where we directly install the hypervisor on the data centers. So generally this type of techniques is used by the cloud providers like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure and GCP. So that is the difference between type 1 and type 2. And here type 1 is more secure than compared to type 2. Okay, everything is fine. If this virtualization and hypervisor is working fine and it is reducing our maintenance cost and all those things, so then why we are moving towards containerizing our application? Why we are moving? Okay, so suppose a single piece of hardware, on top of that we have installed a hypervisor, and that is having a 4 CPU and 100 gigs of RAM. Okay, and when we use that hardware, we will convert into four virtual machines, dividing the resources into like one CPU and 25 gigs of RAM RAM for each of the virtual machines. So now the single hardware is converted into four virtual machines, equally sharing the resources. In that case, even we have a four virtual machines, sometimes we fail to use all the four machines effectively. Might be one machine is used sometime, and in some seasonal activities and all the four machines are busy. So we are not using all the machines effectively all the times. So there also, like, there is a wastage of resources. So in that case, like, we have come up with reducing more cost, as well as like using the resources very effectively. So as and when we require, we have, like, can create a containers. So that is how the containers come into the picture. And most of the market demand is like all the applications, they are moving to the containerizing their applications. So this is the pictorial diagram where on top of the host operating system, Docker. So in this we are using Docker as a container runtime engine, but there are other containerized tools such as containerd, builda, etc. But in market mostly people are using Docker for containerizing their applications. So here, like this is this might be on the virtual machine. Docker can be installed on the virtual machine, or it can be installed on the physical server. So one virtual machine, or like no, one physical servers, it can create a lot of containers whenever we have a demand. Earlier, like we had one VM, like on one VM we used to run app A, and the other VM we used to run app B. But the app A, app B can be run on a single VM using container concept. So Docker contains containers that run on Docker engine, and these are very light in weight, and these are also very much secure. There are some demerits of containers, so we will cover it later part. Um, why we still, in some cases, why we still use the virtual machines and why we are not containerizing that. So yeah, for every technology there should be some demerits. So yeah, that can be discussed in the later videos. So using containers, we can build our application, we can share our application, and we can run our applications. This is like no, it will make our applications portable. This is the pictorial diagram of containerized application, and the other side, it is the virtual machine. So this is the difference between containers and virtual machines. Containers, they are the abstraction at app layer, whereas virtual machines, they are the abstractions at the physical hardware. And containers are very lightweighted, whereas virtual machines are heavyweights. And containers, their size ranges in MBs, whereas virtual machine size ranges in gigs. Hope these concepts are clear for you. Thank you for watching.